bunch of people ask me how I make the scarves for my class, so I'm gonna show you right here. So first thing you're gonna need is some fleece. I picked up about 15 different styles of fleece from Joann's on the Saturday after Black Friday sale because it's 70% off. So I'm saving and making this a super cheap project for all 34 kids in my class. You need some regular scissors, and you also can use this rotary cutter, but I think the fabric scissors work the best. It's up to you. I also use this mat to just make sure that all of my measurements are lined up, and it's also helpful to have a mat that you can put over the top of your fabric, so if you're using the rotary cutter, it will glide pretty smooth. All right. So I picked up some different styles of fleece. This one is just a red polka dot. And I pick up different ones to match the different personalities or likes of the kids in my class. So these are just fun little bears. We live in the Pacific Northwest. It's cold. There's no bears though. Well, somewhere there's bears, but this little cute blue pattern. I try to get some flannels, some solid colors. It's sometimes a little bit hard to find things for boys, but I always get sports. So this is a little football pattern. I always get double soccer because everybody in my school loves soccer. I usually try to find a girl soccer print, but they didn't have it this year when I went. So I have a lot of little girly prints, and I get these cut in 1 yard pieces because I'm making my scarf 6 inches wide. If you wanted to make your scarves wider than 6 inches, then you kind of need to calculate how much you're going to get per yard, or how wide you want Joann's to cut your fabric, because you want to be able to make even cuts for your scarf so you don't have to do extra work. Let the lady at Joann's do it. Okay. So first thing you're going to do is cut off this little ugly border. You don't want that in your scarf. And there's some little dots on there. I'm not sure if you can see. I don't really worry about the dots. I'm only concerned about this white part. I don't want that on there. So I cut right where the color starts with my fabric scissors. The awesome thing about fleece is it doesn't fray. So that's what makes this project so quick. And you could use this project if you don't have a classroom. You could make this for all your nieces and nephews or your kids' friends. For bigger kids, like teenagers, I would make them a little wider and probably make the fringe a little more accurate. You'll see that when we get to that part. On the other side, it's not really white, but it has this fold of roughness there, kind of like terry cloth, and I don't want that either, so I'm going to cut that off. And once again, I don't care about the dots, just I don't want to have to cut through those layers of fabric on the back. And this side you can use to tie the scarves at the end. I'll show you, but usually it's not enough for all of your sets, so you will probably need some, oh, I forgot to mention that. You'll need some tulle or yarn if you're going to pass them out kind of the same way that I do, which I'll show you at the end. All right, so I'm folding my scarf back in half from cutting the fringe out, or excuse me, cutting the ends off. I'm making my scarf 6 inches wide, like I said, so I use my lines on my mat to line my scarf up on the folded edge so I know it's straight, and then I also line it up on one of these side lines. Sometimes they're not cut perfectly, and that's okay. I just kind of go with the natural cut lines given to me by the Joann's associate. All right, so luckily this ruler is 6 inches, so it makes it perfect, and I can just put this down on top. Out of this 1 yard of fabric, if I'm cutting the scarf sections 6 inches wide, I will get 3 scarves. I like to use this. This works sometimes and sometimes not the best because it pinches into the little healing mat, so I usually go over it with my scissors. This usually just gives me the cut line so I can make it straight. Okay, 1 scarf almost done. Now on this cut, on the non-folded side, we're just gonna add a little scarf fringe for sass and awesomeness. Boom, 1 scarf down. Now, I like to roll it up kind of fatter, not super skinny, so you can see the pattern. And then this is where the tulle comes in, because you can take, I used tulle last year. I didn't have any tulle. I used the yarn that was in my storage in my classroom. So you can use whatever you have. I tie it up. Knot, and there you go. What's cool about rolling it like this is every kid has their own style, and this kind of, I just lay them all out and it gives them the opportunity to pick which scarf they like. And sometimes you'll be surprised on what people pick. I had a boy in my class last year who was not really into scarves, and so he actually kept his just like this, and he gave it to his sister as a Christmas present, which I thought was super sweet. And I also had a boy who he never wore pink, but he really wanted a pink one, and he kind of wore it for the rest of the school year. So you gotta let people pick and decide on their own. Okay, I'll show you how to make another one, just in case that was like fast or you missed a step. The fabric at Joann's was cut a little bit uneven, so this one's a little bit larger than the previous one, and I don't mind that. So when I go to put them in my class, I usually set them on the carpet all out by patterns, and so I'll show you here in a second. I will stack them all together, and so usually the kids just grab the one on top. They're not really thinking about it. So like, these will be my polka dot ones, and I'll put them all together. And then I had already previously cut some of these basketball ones, so those will be all together. Instead of the tulle, you could also just use this, the scraps from the colored in, not this white. Don't put this on there. This, okay, I've done it once or twice, but it was desperate times. I was out of yarn. But this is not the best, okay? It's not optimal. It's not what we're looking for. So you can use this, use the matching one to tie them off instead of the tulle. I'll just use some tulle because that's the polka dot one on the basketball one. And so there you go. Done. I can get my whole class done probably in about 30 minutes. And I bought, on the Joann 70% off sale, I bought 15 different patterns. So you don't have to do that many. You could just do all solid colors. So it's totally up to you. This project is really customizable for what you're looking for. You can make your scarves wider. You can make your scarves smaller. You also could make the fringe longer and spray it with water and put it in the dryer, and that causes the fringe to curl at the ends. I don't do that because I don't have time for that, but you maybe do. All right, that is all. Scarf on.